There we go, we're recording. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with Kyle, and we're here to discuss Scotland Autumn Nations Cup and how they're going to do and what is the expectation for Scotland. First of all, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to my channel here on Brandon Smith Rugby, and also subscribe to Kyle's channel. I'll put a link in the description down below. He puts match reactions pretty much straight after the game. He's much quicker than I am at it, so he is your go-to man. Kyle, first of all, how are you doing, mate?
Yes, Brandon, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Looking forward to this Autumn Cup. And let's first of all then talk about Scotland and the expectation. If we quickly look back at the past couple of games for Scotland, how would you summarise where you feel your team is at the minute?
I think we've gone for a more pragmatic style now. I think bringing in Peter de Villiers, obviously ex-France prop, South African, who used to play for France, used to coach South Africa, and as our scrum coach has helped us a lot up front. We look a lot more of a unit, a lot more capable of causing teams problems at the set pieces. And also good that we got Steve Tandy in, a Welshman, as our defence coach. And I think that is those two appointments, as well as trying to learn from what we did at the World Cup, have encouraged us to go for a more pragmatic style of rugby, which isn't always prettiest on the eyes, but as a Welshman, you'll know under Gatlin, majority of the time you just care about the win, don't you? So you'll just take the. So I'm happy enough that we're going for the style a bit more, because it's making us more competitive in games. We're actually, sort of looking like we can know how to grind out results again. I think in the bigger picture, it's not always the prettiest. It's not the brand of rugby I want to see the game going. But, from a Scottish perspective, as long as we're winning, that's the main thing.
Absolutely. And I think this Autumn Nations Cup is going to be interesting. I think for a lot of countries, it's the question of development against performances. What would you say is the most important thing for your team right now? Do you believe that you'd like Gregor to say, all right, we'll give youngsters an opportunity, we'll see how they go? Or would you be like, actually, we've got a decent opportunity here because you're in a group with France, Fiji and Italy, which is a group that you should be looking to get out of?
No, I'd say actually, sort of all guns blazing and go for it, because frankly, obviously, we never win trophies in Scotland at all. So I'm not saying we're going to win this one before anyone jumps the bandwagon there, but I'm just saying, sort of actually at least go for it. 3 games, which are all very winnable. I know France will obviously be the toughest one, but it's at Murrayfield. So I'd say, sort of after the result we got back against them back in early March, I'd say, sort of we should definitely fancy our chances in that game. So yeah, no, I just say, sort of pick the best of what we got and just go for it. And maybe you can obviously dip a few younger players in, or more fringe players in now and then. But for on the whole, we have a mostly fairly settled team. So I'd say just unless there's any injuries, of course, I'd say mostly stick with that.
Absolutely. And talking about injuries, 2 massive injuries, Finn Russell and Hastings both injured. What kind of impact is that going to have on the squad? Especially Finn Russell?
Well, if you're going to believe some of the Scottish fan base on social media, we've got the saviour back at 10 in Duncan Weir. I personally have never been much of a fan of him, but there's a core of the Scottish base fan base that absolutely love him. Gone for the more Afro man look. Obviously, lockdown has done a bit to his hair, so yeah. But if he wants to go for that look, that's fine, as long as he does it on the pitch. But no, I think Finn Russell obviously is a massive blow. Big disappointment we went off injured against Wales, because I thought, when he went off injured, he was starting to get his groove in a wee bit in the game and started to actually try things a bit more. It was just little fine margins. It wasn't quite coming off, and he was starting to get it together, and then he got injured, sadly. So obviously, the player of that talent you can't keep down. So very disappointing. And Adam Hastings, I think.
Fuck off! Someone's house is burning down, but I don't care.
You're gonna get censored for that, if someone seriously is dead. They've had to. Anyway,
I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out.
No, I was just gonna say thoughts to whoever that ambulance is going to, and you hope you're okay. But yeah, because I've got a bit of heart here. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, no, obviously Adam Hastings is second choice. I still think, as I say, he's still got a lot to learn, and you know, I think still there's a section of Scottish fans who need to get off his back a wee bit, and you know, stop putting him on a high pedestal because he's still a young guy, still got a lot to learn. But you know, I think he's making progress, but he's still getting there. But Finn Russell, the big one. But I'm interested to see how Duncan Weir does because last couple of years he's been at Worcester, and I gather from what I've seen of him, he's been doing very well there. So see him back in a Scottish jersey, how he'll step up into international rugby again will be interesting.
Absolutely, it will be. Before we look at the Italy game, let's just look at your fixtures of the group. So first of all, you host Italy this weekend, of course, and we'll look at that in just a second. Then you face France at home in the next weekend, and then you have Fiji, and then that'll be it. Then, if you get out the group, you'll obviously progress. So it is a good group, I feel, and as you said, it's something you'd be looking to progress through. I assume you think France are going to be your biggest challengers.
Yes, I think definitely. There's no doubt about that. They're definitely a team that are on the up, but we showed, I think, against them, even though they went down to 14 men in that game, of course. But I think for the most part, we tactically outsmarted them in that game. We worked out, like, you know, sort of keep it tight around the fringes and to get on Dupont's back very quickly, which other teams, I mean, I know Ireland tried it to mix success in the last game of the Six Nations, but there's a lot of other teams that still think they're giving Dupont a little bit too much time and room to control games as he wants. But that's an area we got right against them. And if we can do similarly against the French, then I think we could be in good stead. But yeah, in terms of them, they'll definitely be our toughest game, and they're a team that are definitely, you know, on the ball, improving. And I think, as we all know, like come 2023, they'll be definitely a force to be reckoned with. And
absolutely. Yeah, and Sean Edwards had a heck of an impact. And let's not talk about defence coaches in Wales at the minute because they're non-existent. Let's talk about the game then this weekend out in Italy. It is Italy against Scotland. This should be an easy win for you, right?
Well, considering it's in Italy, well, I think we'll have our moments where it's pretty tough. But I think on the whole, we should have too much for them. I'm just hoping we at least do better than we did when we went around there earlier in the year. Because I think you know, sort of a vast of anyone who watched that game will just agree it was a rotten game of rugby. Even though we deserved to win it because we were just a bit better than Italy, but on the whole, it was an absolutely dreadful game to watch. But I'm hoping we can be at least better than that, and actually, when we actually get a control in the game, the head in the scoreboard, we actually, you know, find the ability to be consistent and, you know, to execute our basics consistently and just put the scoreboard on and really put on a show. But again, I mean, I'm expecting Italy to make it tough for us in like the first, as they normally do, the first 50, 60 minutes. But so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the team then. I hope you'll enjoy this coming on your screen now. They've all got the same haircut as Duncan Weir. But let's go through the team now, starting with the backs. Stuart Hoggart, fullback as captain, with the wingers are Darcy Graham and Duan van der Merwe back into the team, with Sam Johnson and Chris Harris in the centres. That leaves a halfback pairing of Ali Price and Duncan Weir, of course. And then the forwards then are Rory Sutherland, Stuart McInally as the vice-captain and Xander Fagerson. Then you got Scott Cummings and Johnny Gray. Then Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson and Blade Thompson. What are your thoughts on that team? Straight away, you've got to think that team's strong enough to beat Italy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Just hoping that Stuart McInally can be consistent with his line-out throwing. And also good to see that Sam Skinner back, even though he's on the bench because he's been out injured for a long time. But he's on his day. I think he's as good as any back five forward we have. So good to see him back. Of course, I mean, not surprising that Sam Johnson's been given the nod at 12. Expect us to try and use him as the point of getting us over the gain line, being direct with his running, and then spreading it out to the rest of the back line to do their stuff. But yeah, no, I think the real key points as to how well we'll do here is the halfback pairing. Ali Price to me is still often far too slow at the breakdown in terms of just getting the ball out of there. Too often he's more or less like you think it's quick ball, where the back line should have set themselves for a move or something. At that level, they should be ready to set themselves, and he's often just still waiting for forwards. Keeps calling them, come round, or just keeps making it too predictable. Or when he does pass it out to the back line, it's often too predictable for the opposition. So he needs to be more consistent with that, and that with actually being getting the ball out of the ruck as quickly as possible. Like if we get front football, quick ball out of there, front football, quick ball out of there. And I think me and there's other Scottish fans who think the same. He's not doing that enough. And Duncan Weir, of course, like I said, he's not played for Scotland for ages. So I'm hoping he can bring some of the good form he's shown for Worcester over the past couple of years and actually be able to play on the front foot and play smart as well. And obviously, he's got a backline of experience to help him. I'm hoping that Stuart Hogg has the ability, as a captain as well, to actually step into the back line and give him sort of that extra pair of eyes at 10 if he needs to. And obviously there's other backs who can help him out there as well. So be interesting to see. But I think if our half backs can get the game clicking, we should do well.
Absolutely. So to finish off with, then, what are your predictions for this for this Autumn Nations Cup? Get out the group and see what happens. Is that it?
Yeah, try and win all of our group games, and then we'll see where we're at after that. I'm hoping we can't go quite far. Well, I don't expect us to win it, but I think we should be. That should be the aim that we give it our all in it and see where we end up.
Absolutely. So just a reminder to subscribe here on Brandon Smith Rugby and to check out Kyle's channel down below. Best place for reactions and an unbiased Scotsman as well. Cheers, Kyle.
Yeah, no problem, Brandon. Nice to thank you again for having me on, and take care of yourself and take care, guys.
Awesome. There you go. Let me just